good morning. It's time of day that is time, and we're gonna learn how to take flats right now. So
About 5:10
it's
in the morning.
it's 5:10 in the morning, um, and we're going to open up the T-Skies Ops folder, and we've already connected we've already been observing. So cameras are cool. Telescope is tracking. Dome follows the telescope. We're going to open up the program called CCD Autopilot. Excuse me. We're going to open it up. I swear it's opening. See, it's opening. I think I pressed the buttons. There we go. And we're going to confirm that it says camera is controlled by Maxim DL, the telescope is controlled by the SkyX, plate solving is run by the SkyX, and the dome is run by Digital DomeWorks, and that the flat light source is the sky. So we're going to hit link to software. So this program, CCD Autopilot, has the ability to run the observatory all of itself. We will hop over to session and we go to dawn flats because we're on dawn flats. If we were on dusk flats, we'd be here on dusk flats. And we're gonna go from the clearest filter to the thickest filter. So at dawn, whereas at dusk we go in precisely the opposite order. So H alpha to luminance, whereas this morning we're gonna go luminance to H alpha. These numbers are, to be completely honest, guesses at this point. No, they're a little better than guesses. I think are probably the best bets for how we're gonna do this. I might do one fewer of these just to be sure that I can get each of these, do one fewer of these as well. Always come to regret this set of decisions. So I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna do 5, I'm gonna do 6 here. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna hit update, and then I'm gonna hit flat frames now. And at this point, the program can just take it away. So you can see that the sun altitude is at -17. I believe that's in degrees. It won't start for real until it's 9 degrees below the horizon, which should be about, I actually do know what time that'll be today. I looked it up, I swear.
About 6:15 is sunrise.
Oh, no.
5:16 I think is end astro.
Nautical. Oh. Excuse me.
Nautical starts at 5:42.
Yeah, 5:42. I think this will start running closer to 5:42, but basically it'll check every minute what the sun altitude is.
Did you mean to take 10 hydrogen alpha?
I did toss 10 hydrogen alpha at the end because at the end it's it's a freebie. We get sick. To. What was that?
It's sick. Sounds cool.
Yeah, because we can just go until it's too light.
Also, sorry, one more thing if that's okay.
Yeah.
Would you mind closing the picture in Maxim DL? I remember it didn't work last time because we had pictures open.
Okay.
Cool.
Now go ahead and pause the recording. No, I need the other window up. Where's the other window? It's this one. I'm gonna pause the recording and I'll record again later. Come on, pause. So we're now quite a while later. It's 6 o'clock. I think we started this about 45 minutes ago. You can see that it's taking pictures now. And the first image was underexposed, meaning it's still too dark for it to take that picture, although it's now trying to take one at, looks to be 9.5 seconds, although I'm not clear why it's 9.5 and 19, so who knows. So at this point, it's just gonna run automatically until it's too light for this to work. There we go. There's one of the common errors. So the exposures need to be between 3 seconds and 30 seconds, and need to have a really specific number of counts. In this case, it's 18,000 for the luminances and up to about 24,000, I think, for the H alphas that we're going to finish at the end. Those numbers are different on the Ritchie because these two cameras do behave differently. So it's in progress there. And we just get to sit and wait. So now it's doing this again. This time it's going to try to take a 30-second exposure and see if that works. I'm going to go ahead and let us sit through this 30-second experience. I should tell a 20-second joke. In the behind here, you can see that is the image that the telescope took. I worry that the dome didn't point right, but that's a whole other conversation. So it should download here in a second. And I do want to keep the session window at the top so I can see what's happening. It still says too dark because it needs to do an exposure of 252 seconds right now, which I guess makes sense. We're still pretty dark outside, but I admit I'm getting nervous that there was some sort of technical problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause. And we'll see if there's some good information to come out of this a little later. And it looks like we're finally taking our first picture for real. Only took an hour. So we have a 24-second exposure for this one. It'll take the standard, actually I don't know how long it takes for these to download. Yeah, 10 seconds-ish for this to download. It'll do another calculation and it'll follow on and take another picture. You can see that it says exposing 1 of 6 flat frames. And then hopefully, there we go, there's the full one. So it's going to adjust the new exposure to 20.7 seconds. And as we talked about just a few seconds ago, we can't go under 3 seconds. So that's why we're taking 6. And I hope 6 is the right number. We can't adjust any of these numbers after we put them in without a pretty big time cost. So let's let this one expose. We'll see it pop up behind on Dollhouse, on Maximum DL. These all auto-save. This is all set up just right. The only thing you have to have done is press the Flats Now button. Let's see this one, exposing, should be done, should be downloading. There we go, downloaded. And it's now going to take another one at 13.9 seconds. You see, sorry, at 17.6 seconds. It takes it about 14 seconds to download. So you can see these are moving at about 3 seconds shorter per exposure, which means we'll have no problem getting all 6 of these in. It's those 4 color ones that I worry about. So I might actually stop this session and take 3 of each of the color ones because I really want to get each of the colors. So as soon as this downloads, I'm going to do that, and we'll watch carefully what I do here. So I'm going to hit abort session. It'll stop this. It'll give me a couple of error codes, which is totally fine. It'll pop me back to the screen we saw before. Great, awesome. All of this is done. Session complete. We can close this up. We can bring up autopilot. We're going to turn this series off. I'm going to hit update, and we're going to hit flat frames now. No, shoot, stop. I didn't want to do that either. Session aborted. Come on, give me the X. I wanted to drop each of these down to 3 as well, just to be sure that I get something in each of them. Update, flat frames now. Okay, so now we're definitely gonna get 3 of each. Let's hope. And as you can see, there's a pretty costly startup time here to make each of these work. So basically that costs us a minute in hopes that we can really get each of those colors. So let's see if that works. Mount settling for 3 seconds, unlike your teacher. Dome slaving, which is done. It's already set. I'm listening. Okay, and it's starting in blue right now, which is good. I think it generally just starts at 9.5 seconds. I don't remember why. And then it'll do the calculations on this. Please note that the target for this one is a slightly higher number, 22,000 ADU. I have those set as higher numbers so that this works in brighter light. Okay, there's our sample image behind it. Exposure adjusted to 15.5 seconds. It's gonna be tight, y'all. It's gonna be tight. All right, I'm gonna just let this run. Okay, it's downloaded. Let's see what it wants to do for the next exposure. 14.4. Okay, so that's we're only going a second, 1.1 seconds shorter per exposure. So we're probably gonna make it. Famous last words. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording and I'll check back in with you in a second. I think we did it. It looks like we got 3 of 3. No. So bad news. We only got 1 red filter. I should have made that call to cancel earlier. So we were supposed to get 6, 3, 3, 3, and then 10. We got 4, 3, 3, 1, and then we're currently too dark for this. The exposure time needed for H alpha is 56 seconds, 57 seconds. So classic, I got a little greedy. I need to revise that. Cool. 1 flat. That's not a deal. All right, and then I'm gonna hit pause again. And when we come back, the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you all of shutdown. Okay, you can see it's starting to get lighter. The door is open. There's light out behind me. We've completed this session. Oh, we didn't even get a red flat. That's not ideal, but nothing to do about that now. So we close that up. We're gonna turn this back on. We're gonna turn this down to 4, and we're just gonna save our bacon for next time. We're gonna update that so this keeps that. Setup, disconnect, and we're free to close out of CCD autopilot. So we're now into the rest of what follows is shutdown procedure. We're gonna go to the setup tab. We're gonna hit warm up on the cameras, and then we're gonna walk away from Maxim DL for a minute. We're going to go back to SkyX and park the telescope. And then lastly, we're gonna send the dome to home. Normally we'd press close here, but I have to use the car battery on this one. So once everything is, so now all 3 things are doing something to get them towards closing up, being ready to be done. Maxim DL on Dollhouse was really quick. The Ritchie upstairs here takes a lot longer. So cooler power is already at 0%. So we can turn coolers to off, and we can disconnect the cameras, and we can close out of Maxim DL. The telescope is still parking. The dome is still rotating. The dome rotated past home. Might have a little problem with the dome right now. But I'm just gonna let that run because there's nothing I can do about it from right here. I mean, there is, I can press stop, but I'm just gonna poke my head out the door and see what's happening. Can confirm, dome is just spinning. Not ideal, but we're gonna let that go for a second. Because we're gonna finish the shutdown. We are gonna disconnect the telescope because it said parked under status, and we're gonna close out of SkyX. Then the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring back Chrome. We're gonna look at our outlets, and we're gonna leave those 2 on because we haven't finished with Digital Dome Works. And over here, we're gonna turn off everything. Oops, I should have started at number 2. Start as high as you can and go down every time. In this case, do not turn off Sculpture because that's the computer that we're in. We'll lose access to this computer. There are ways to get into this, but I don't like that. And that's it. We're done. Thank you and good night.